What's good? It's Wood. We are covering the 2023 Grammy Awards and we're going category by category. We are predicting winners. We're picking some of our winners in terms of who we feel is the most deserving of the award. And we're going to go category by category as we near the date of the ceremony. And in this video, we are tackling Best Rap Album. This is not a new award, but it's not one of the older Grammy Awards. In fact, this one didn't start until 1996, and the first recipient of this award was Naughty by Nature with Poverty's Paradise. That was the album with Feel Me Flow. So this would be a few years after Naughty by Nature released like OPP and Hip Hop Hooray. This is an album after all that. So this is the first win. They actually beat out Tupac's Me Against the World, Bone Thugs and Harmony's East 1999 Eternal, Old Dirty Bastards Return to the 36 Chambers. That's the one with Brooklyn Zoo and Shimmy Shimmy Ya, and the rapper Skilo with I Wish. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. So Naughty by Nature, first recipient of this award. The second, by the way, was the Fugees with The Score. That's the one with Fuji La, Killing Me Softly, Ready or Not. And they beat out Tupac's All Eyes on Me, A Tribe Called Quest, Beats, Rhymes, and Life. That was the fourth Tribe Called Quest album. The late Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise was also nominated that year, as was LL Cool J's Mr. Smith. That's the one with Hey Lover, Who Do You Love? But it was the lounging original. The Who Do You Love one with Total was the remix. And Doing It and Doing It and Doing It Well. And Who Shot Ya? Or, I'm sorry, this one was I Shot Ya. So that was the second winner. The third was Puff Daddy and the Family with No Way Out. And that was the year that Old Dirty Bastard got on stage and said Wu-Tang is for the children, because Wu-Tang Clan was nominated that year with Wu-Tang Forever. But Puff Daddy and the Family won it that year with No Way Out. The most wins in this category has gone to Eminem. He has won Best Rap Album 6 times. That's a little bit crazy. I feel like he was maybe deserving of about 3 or 4. 6 is a lot. Like, look, I'm a huge Eminem fan. I love the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, but damn near every time Eminem was nominated, he won this award. So he's actually been nominated 7 times and has come away with 6 Best Rap Album awards. So he's the biggest recipient in this category. The second place in most wins has gone to Kanye West. He's won this award 4 times. And then there are 3 artists with 2 wins in this category. Those 3 are Outkast, Kendrick Lamar, and Tyler, the Creator, who's actually won this award 2 out of the last 3 years. He won it 3 years ago with Igor, and he won it last year with Call Me If You Get Lost. Now, the most nominations in this category has gone to Jay-Z. He's been nominated for Best Rap Album 11 times. Think about that. He's only won this award once, and that was in 1999 when he was nominated for A Hard Knock Life Volume 2. That's Jay-Z's only win in this category. But again, he's been nominated 11 times. Second place in nominations, Kanye West with 8 nominations. So Kanye West has won 4 times out of 8 nominations. And then Eminem, as I mentioned, has been nominated 7 times, won 6 of those. And then there's a 2-way tie for 4th place. That's Drake and Nas, both nominated 6 times. And in recent years, Drake has actually not submitted any of his work to the Grammys. He's kind of been boycotting the last few years. But yeah, Drake still nominated 6 times, as was Nas. Nas actually won this award for the first time a couple of years ago with King's Disease 2. And I suspect that Nas is going to be nominated for Best Rap Album again next year with his phenomenal late 2022 release, King's Disease 3. The Roots, by the way, have been nominated 5 times in this award. But yeah, let's get to this year's nominees. Now, before we get to all the nominees this year, I just want to name a few of the artists and albums that I felt like were deserving, or at least should have been in contention for being nominated this year, but were not. I'll start with Lupe Fiasco's Drill Music in Zion. Excellent album, as are many of Lupe's albums. He's been nominated a few times in the past as well. Black Thought's collaboration with Danger Mouse, Cheat Codes. I thought that was very good, as was Joey Badass's last album. Earl Sweatshirt's Sick, I thought was a very good album. Vince Staples' Ramona Park Broke My Heart. Jid with The Forever Story, I thought that could have been nominated this year. Same with Conway the Machine from Griselda with his new album, God Don't Make Mistakes. That was an excellent album. And then Freddie Gibbs with Soul Sold Separately. I thought that he was deserving of a nomination this year. But those that were nominated this year instead were DJ Khaled with God Did, Future with I Never Liked You, Jack Harlow with Come Home, The Kids Miss You, Kendrick Lamar with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and then Pusha T with It's Almost Dry. Now, you know, DJ Khaled's projects are always huge collaborations. DJ Khaled isn't a rapper. He's not even producing the beats. He's more so a connector, essentially, and he's bringing a lot of his friends together for these projects. So he's gonna do a song with like 21 Savage and Lil Baby, or Rick Ross and Jay-Z and Lil Wayne in the case of God Did, which was a single that went viral because of Jay-Z's super long verse towards the end. Jay-Z's kind of, you know, half retired, so anytime you get a big contribution from Hov, it's a big deal. And yeah, Jay-Z did do his thing on that verse, and it was a pretty good track. And there are a few highlights on the album God Did. And you know, DJ Khaled's always coming up with a new phrase that ends up becoming in the culture's lexicon, like another one. What's another DJ Khaled? Yeah, obviously, we the best. That was like his breakthrough phrase, right? When he was coming out with I'm So Hood and all of those songs, you know, with that Florida group of rappers. And Atlanta, there was a lot of Atlanta contribution in those early DJ Khaled mixtapes. But the latest phrase is God Did, and he just kind of repeats it throughout this project. Future, again, is nominated with I Never Liked You. It's actually interesting that Future hasn't won this award in the past. He's had, you know, several good projects, and I do like to see him nominated here. This was a good album, kind of, you know, it's on par with some of his better releases in the past. He's had, again, a lot of good projects. Jack Harlow, one of the more polarizing rappers in the game, not intentionally, but just because you've got, you know, a tall, handsome Caucasian who's just taking the rap game by storm and kind of has like that, you know, very charismatic energy. I don't know, it's one of those where because the ladies love him so much that he gets a lot of hate too. And yes, he was kind of thrusted to the forefront of the musical or rap game, and he's done a lot of collabs with some of the most esteemed rappers in the game. I mean, he's got Drake on this latest project. He's got, you know, Snoop Dogg advocating for him on this latest album. And, you know, he is a good rhyme spitter. Like, I could tell that the way that he pens his bars, essentially, he's got a lot of good punchlines. He's very clever, very witty. And yes, that lackadaisical energy just kind of emphasizes some of those witty lines because he's saying it so nonchalantly. You know what I mean? So he's a good rapper. I wasn't super inspired by the tracks on this album. It wasn't a bad album. It's what, you know, the current generation would call mid in terms of, okay, it's a pretty good beat and you've got some pretty good rhymes. The choruses are kind of hit and miss, especially when he starts singing on some of the hooks. But, you know, all in all, it does have, you know, a few good singles like First Class. He's got, you know, the collaboration with Drake, Churchill Downs. He's got Nail Tech, which is a pretty cool track. He's got a few sprinkled throughout this album. I mean, I like the way that he spits in his intro. But yeah, he's nominated here. And then we've got Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. Every time Kendrick Lamar releases an album, it's a big event because of his album by album track record. I feel like ever since, we'll say, Section 80, which was his kind of his breakthrough project before he was then signed to Aftermath and then came out with Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar hasn't missed with an album. Every album is arguably a classic. And I feel like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was still not a step back. I feel like it was still on par with the classics that he's released. Was it his best? I mean, it's hard to top To Pimp a Butterfly, but damn, with songs like Auntie Diaries and Silent Hill, and I mean, he just has so many super deep songs. It's almost like Every album by Kendrick Lamar requires several weeks and months of unpacking what his message is in a lot of these songs. There's a lot of like encrypted language and just a lot of hidden gems. It's not one of those where you could grasp the entirety of the message within first listen. So yeah, Kendrick Lamar's albums are usually greater than the sum of their parts. He really puts a lot of thought and effort into these releases. And then we've got Pusha T, who was coming off probably his most notable release with Daytona. That was the one where Kanye West, who was pretty much falling out with like all of his friends, from like Kid Cudi to now Pusha T, who has since relinquish his position as president of Kanye West's Good Music. But yeah, Pusha T was coming off that great release, Daytona, which was also Grammy nominated. And this one, I wouldn't say it's as good as Daytona, but it's a damn good album. I love the first two tracks, especially that first one, Brambleton. Pusha T, he just delivers those coke bars, verse after verse after verse, and there are so many strong tracks on It's Almost Dry. I didn't really love the one Rock and Roll with Kid Cudi and Kanye West. And Kanye West, by the way, has a couple verses on this It's Almost Dry album, and you could tell that he's going through it. He doesn't sound like he's happy in these verses. He's actually alluding to his family situation, and he sounds pretty distraught in the couple of verses that he has on this album. But yeah, It's Almost Dry was a very good album. Now, who do I think will win and who do I think is the most deserving? Look, I don't see Jack Harlow nor DJ Khaled winning this year, mostly because of a lot of the hate that they get. Like, I just have trouble picturing DJ Khaled winning with God Did. Not that it's a bad album. It's got several pretty good tracks. It just sounds so like top 40, like this is what rap is sounding like in the modern era. It just sounds like it's trying to check all of the boxes in terms of what makes a radio single in today's rap world, or we should say pop rap world. And in light of Macklemore and Ryan Lewis beating out Good Kid, Mad City several years back, and that became like a whole thing, it would be kind of crazy if like Jack Harlow now beats Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers with his album Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Not to say that Macklemore and Ryan Lewis didn't have a very good album with The Heist. I mean, those singles were pretty phenomenal. They were all over the place. And Jack Harlow is a good rapper, and I think that he, more or less puts together quality music. It's just that Kendrick Lamar's albums are such high quality that the idea of him getting beaten for best rap album of the year by Jack Harlow or DJ Khaled, it just, at this point, it sounds kind of crazy. So I think that this actually comes down to Kendrick Lamar and then Pusha T, because Pusha T also has the reputation of dropping quality projects. Even before Daytona, Pusha T was dropping quality albums and mixtapes, from My Name Is My Name to even the work that, with the Clips, the duo with his brother Malice, Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury, all quality projects. So Pusha T has a chance on winning this one. Future, that would be kind of interesting. I mean, he's been consistently dropping good music for the past decade plus now. But again, look, I think that Kendrick Lamar should win, and I think that Kendrick Lamar will win. I think that this is going to be his third win in this category. And again, just the quality and the unpacking that you have to do for these albums, it's an event. And the fact that Kendrick Lamar is actually nominated in the major album category, Album of the Year, cross genre, you would think that he should win a genre-specific award, right? Like if he's nominated against, everybody from who's nominated this year, Adele, Mary J. Blige, Harry Styles, Beyonce. If he's nominated alongside them, then you would think that he's gonna beat out the people in his own genre. So I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar to win with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers for Best Rap Album. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think will win this award, and who would you like to see win this award? And please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.